Well, how y'all doing? It's PawPaw again. And today's video is how to wire up your ride lawnmower or lawn tractor or whatever without all that miscellaneous BS switches and knobs and dials.
I don't buy new cars, I don't buy brand names, I go to Goodwill for my clothes. I like to save money, I like to find bargains, it's the life I chose. I throw nothing away, I'll find a use another day for all this junk I keep. My neighbors all hate me, they abuse and berate me, 'cause I like doing it cheap. Yeah, I like doing it cheap. Welcome to another episode of Doing It Cheap.
I bought a riding lawnmower and I just wanted a yard wagon because I've got a zero-turn mower to mow my grass. But I wanted something to pull a trailer around. So I bought this old lawnmower off a boy. Hell, he was trying to make it run. He didn't know how to adjust valves. He bought a brand new starter and he bought a brand new solenoid, and let that be a lesson to you. It ain't necessarily a weak battery or a bad solenoid. The engine ain't gonna crank if the valves aren't adjusted right. Today's video is not about adjusting valves. There's plenty of them on the internet, on the YouTube as it is. But what I wanted to do was try to explain the wiring of whether it's a tractor, a lawnmower, whatever, just a simple wiring diagram, or maybe just teach you the theory so you understand how it works, okay? All right, let's go inside and talk about how to wire this thing up. The first thing I want to address is the solenoid, the starting circuit. You know, that's the main thing. You want to be able to start the engine. And it's really quite simple. Let me draw you a sketch here. You got two posts on your solenoid. And then you got two little blades down here. Little blade there, little blade there. Or you may only have one. And it doesn't matter if this one right here goes to the battery and this one over here goes to the starter, or if you go do it the other way. It doesn't matter, okay? Because this right underneath here is a piece of copper, a little leg on it, that whenever you energize the coil that's inside this thing, it, boom, snaps that thing up in position. Now, I've probably got to draw it upside down, but the main thing is what it does is this piece of copper connects to this post, and that gets your battery voltage to your starter, okay? Real simple. So, theoretically, well, not theoretically, you could just lay a screwdriver across them two posts and it'll turn your engine over. But you got two blades down here. One of them is to connect the hot wire from the battery. You want to go from the battery to a switch. Just a regular little old switch. We'll take that back there to the battery. And this one right here goes to the solenoid, goes right here. And when you close that switch, you're providing power to here, and it's and it activates that solenoid and boom. Now then the battery and starter post are tied together and it'll crank. This one is optional. Some solenoids have 2 blades, some don't. But that one would be for your ground or your negative. Now, what I do to try to make darn sure I got good connections is I'll make sure that wherever my battery cable from the ground or the negative side of the battery, you know, where it goes down and bolts to the frame or whatever, I'll make sure it's a real good clean connection. Now tighten it down real tight. But I don't stick all these extra little wires under that bolt or that bolt that's holding the battery cable down. I go back up to the actual terminal on the battery if I'm going to ground something, okay? Because after all, that's where you're getting your power from your battery. That's just me. You know, when it calls for something to go to ground, you can just run a wire anywhere, drill a hole in the frame, and put a screw in it, there you go. But I like to go to the battery. This is going to be boring for a bunch of y'all folks, and if you don't like it, if it's too simple, I totally understand. But man, I got on YouTube, and I was like, God dang, these guys don't explain what the heck is happening very well. On my lawnmower, I got a 7-blade switch. And it's marked G, A1, L, S, A2, M, and B. I'm going to go all through all that, tell you what that does. But anyway, this is all it takes to start your engine or to turn it over, is to get power to that tab. And this right here is wired in. You got to bolting this thing down right here into the frame, so it's grounded. But I like to run a ground wire from the battery to here. That's just me. You don't have to do that, because this solenoid is bolted down onto the body or frame of your mower somewhere. All right, so if you just want to do it simple, all you got to do is touch a wire from here to here, and then to energize that coil and your engine will turn over. Just here to here, but that's all it takes. But we like to have a switch. We like to be able to turn it on and on your switch on the lawnmower, you got off, lights, run, and start. So all the way over start, and then when it starts, you turn loose of it, and the switch spring loaded goes back to run. Okay. So start, and there you go. But how do you stop it? Well, you've got two. On my V-twin, you've got on this Briggs V-twin, you've got 2 magnetos. I've always called them coils, but they call them, some of these places call them magnetos. Same thing, but it's a coil. The coil wire wrapped around some metal, and you can get electricity one of 2 ways. You can pass a magnet through the fields of a winding, or you can, what was the other way? Or you can wrap windings around a piece of metal and put power to it, and all of a sudden, you know, you got a magnet. Oh, anyhow, forget that. So, that's how we start this thing. Now, again, M, magneto, and hell, I didn't write it up there. Let me write it up right there. M goes to the coils or magnetos. Okay. On that lawnmower, I showed you there's a red or orange wire, there's a white wire, there's a black wire. Okay. That black wire when you touch it to ground, it grounds out the coils and it won't produce a spark. You can wrap a rope around the flywheel of this V-twin out here, Do not have to have power. Do not have to have a battery and a starter. Don't have to have nothing. And you can pull and, fire that daggum thing up. It ain't no big deal. Just like a push mower. You ain't got a battery on the average push mower. You ain't got a battery sitting there to start it with. No, you pull the rope. And pulling the rope turns flywheel battery. The magnet in the flywheel passes by the coil, creates a spark, and it fires up. It's easy peasy. So anyway, the black wire coming from the motor, and I showed you, I showed you a picture of it. The black wire from the coil, or magnetos, goes to M. So when you turn your switch over to the off position, it ties M to G, G being ground. Now, my wire connected to G, I ain't just going down here the frame. I ran it back to the battery, okay? The negative side of the battery, okay? The other wire coming out of your out of the engine, you've got a red wire or orange, and it's the regulator or alternator, and it goes to A2. And the reason for that is, what it does is it keeps your battery charged. So while you're in the run position, engine's running and it's producing electricity to charge or to keep your battery charged. That's what it does. Now there's one more wire. You saw the white wire. That's to the carburetor solenoid. Let me show you what I think of them in this little quick video. Be right back. Alright, so as you see, I don't give a darn about them carburetor solenoids. The purpose of them, it's probably a good idea for the average person out there that is too lazy or don't think of shutting off their fuel line whenever they get through mowing. They just turn the switch off and get off of it and go. But that carburetor solenoid, some of them call it a backfire solenoid. But the idea behind it is when it's energized, as in you're in the run position or start position, when it's energized, it pulls down and allows fluid or gasoline to flow into through the bowl of the carburetor up into the venturion or into the throttle, into the throat of the carburetor on into the cylinder to fire up, okay? But I don't like them darn things. They're subject to going bad, and the little bastards are expensive. So I bypass them every single time. I was reading somewhere, a guy said, yeah, the kit to replace that thing just to block it off is, I forget how much money he said. Well, that's ridiculous. Just do what I did. Cut it off, grind it off, whatever. And then you don't have to connect the white wire to A1, okay? You ain't got to fool with it. I'm not fooling with it on mine. Who do I know can dial a phone? Good God. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Karen at Happy Hemp. I love that girl. Man, you talk about Happy Hemp's what keeps me going, y'all. I mean, it keeps me all limbered up, good to go. Helps with fighting pain. Gotta tell her how to spell my name. I gotta tell her I'm doing a video right now. I'm doing a video right now. Anyway, Karen, got a conversation going on here. I really appreciate Karen down there at Happy Hemp. I don't think I could function like I do without it. There's a pain roll that I use. My wife uses it. Okay. Anyway, when my knee gets to bother me, I rub some of that Happy Hemp CBD oil, menthol stuff on it, oh man, the pain goes away. I mean, within minutes, if not 15 or 30 seconds. I mean, rub it on and the pain is gone. My wife, she's got where she carries a roll with her all the time because she's got a little bit of arthritis or something going on right in there. And she'll rub that on, she's good to go. And if it starts giving her trouble, she rubs it on again a few hours later. But them gummy bears, oh my goodness. Those gummy bears, I like them. And she got some stuff, Delta 8 and Delta 9. Oh my goodness, you talk about being on a magic carpet ride. Oh, the gummy bears, regular gummy bears and CBD just helps take any anxiety off of you. But now, that Delta 8 and Delta 9, it'll put you on a magic carpet ride. I don't do marijuana. Even though it's been offered to me a whole lot, I'm afraid that if I take the first hit, then I'm going to regress, or whatever it's called, back into smoking. And I haven't smoked a cigarette since January 2016, thanks to my little grandson. So, been going almost 8 years now. Well, be almost 9 years. And but man, I love this Happy Hemp stuff. I don't mean to sound like a drug head or like I'm not. I just don't like pain. Okay, back where we was at. Thank you again, Karen. B, you got a wire that goes to the positive side of the battery. And that's where your switch gets all the power it needs to do whatever it needs to do. I told her, I said, I'm bragging about you. She said, you're making me blush. Well, Lord, I ain't saying nothing naughty. My God, I'm old enough to be her daddy. Matter of fact, she's about the age of my daughter. Anyhow, all you gotta do is run these wires one at a time. I'll show you here. Let me show you how I did it. I do want to tell y'all that if you go to www.gethappyhemp.com, let's see if I'm doing this right. I never do remember how to do that. www.gethappyhemp.com. If you go there and buy something and use the discount code Doing It Cheap or Doing It Cheap 30, you get 30% off. So keep that in mind. That's a little something that that's a little something. I tell you what. Is there anybody that text is more than young people? God Almighty. Every time you turn around, they want to carry on the conversation. Nobody wants to talk on the telephone no more. I try to sell something on Facebook Marketplace, and I tell them, I don't do all this texting. I'm old. Just pick up the phone and call me. Young people today don't want to talk to nobody. I guess they don't have any social skills. I don't know. Now, this young lady does. She's old enough. But, you know, the 20-year-old teenagers and kids under 30, they don't know how to talk to somebody on telephone. I don't understand them. But, you know, that's generational things. On the back of the switch, you know, your starting switch on the lawnmower, you've got 7 of these. In my case, 7. Some of y'all have a switch that's only got 5. But that's what's sticking out of the back of the switch. And then I attached this to my wire, whatever wire I was running, to where it would just push right on, there where I can see it. And it just pushes right on, and boom, you're connected. I like that. I also, use shrink wrap or heat shrink tubing when necessary. Like I went ahead and put it all the way over to here, all the way over to there, and got that heat shrink to cover that metal, where I ain't got to worry about it accidentally getting something in there and shorting out. And I could use that to tie any, y'all could also do that, tie any two wires together, or use some wire nuts, like where I was coming off of the that black wire coming off the engine. I just twisted the connector from it to the wire going to M on the thing. Well, I've stumbled around and rambled and talked longer than I needed to, I reckon. I just want y'all to know I appreciate each and every one of you. I don't get on here as often as I used to, but I guess with wintertime coming, I ain't gonna be able to do as much outside. So we'll see what transpires. It's in the 30s here today, and got my little gas heater there, and got it on the lowest possible setting, and it kicks on and off, and it's taking a chill off of the room. So that's all that matters. Y'all have a wonderful day and a better tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Make sure if you go to gethappyhemp.com, you holler at Karen and tell her PawPaw sent you. Remember, doing it cheap, save you 30%. Merry Christmas, everybody, and a Happy New Year to you. And for you Jewish folks, Happy Hanukkah. Bye, everybody.